Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Teal Bites. My name is Radhika, and I'm back with another very interesting episode of Teal Bites. Today, we have the privilege of hosting Mr. Abhijit Chakravati, Executive Vice President, Networks and Security at Kotak Mahindra Bank. Abhijit is a seasoned technology leader with over 2 decades of experience in the ICT domain, specializing in enterprise IT infrastructure, network and cybersecurity, and telecom. With a strong customer centric approach and futuristic outlook, Abhijit has successfully led initiatives in network solutions architecture, SD-WAN, SDN, data center operations, and cybersecurity. He's a proven leader in service delivery and customer experience, driving innovation and operational excellence in complex IT environments. Abhijit, a very warm welcome, and it's great to have you with us today on Teal Bites.
Thank you to Teal Bites and Radhika for hosting me on this platform, and let's take it ahead.
Great. Thank you, Abhijit. So, Abhijit, today I would like to get your perspective on that with the rise of AI-driven cyber threats, how can organizations effectively leverage AI and ML to enhance their proactive defense strategies? Your views, please, Abhijit.
Very interesting question, Radhika. First of all, I think it's a very good point that you brought about. AI today is being used equally for attack as well as defense, right? Now, to the question that you asked, I will focus my response to how do we use AI to enhance our defense, right?
Okay.
First and foremost piece is threat intelligence.
Right.
So you use a lot of AI capability to gather threat intelligence. The second piece of it is threat modeling. Now you've gathered a lot of threat intelligence. Is it relevant to your environment? Okay, because every customer environment would have some uniqueness. Some of it may be common and some of it will be unique, right? So
Yeah.
what is a threat? Actually, a threat to one environment may not necessarily be equally a threat to another one. I'm only saying that, so you kind of model and figure out that what is the level of threat that it has to my environment.
Right.
Third piece of it you got to figure out is what is the risk that this threat has to my environment, because the threat modeling will yield a result, right?
Yeah.
So for the same threat, whereas in one environment, the risk can be high, in another environment, the risk can be low.
Correct. Yeah.
So now what it helps, how it kind of helps is that you do threat intelligence, you do threat modeling, and you do a risk assessment. And AI today also allows you to do risk quantification. Radhika, what is important is risk otherwise is a very perceptive English word.
Right.
What I perceive as risk, you may not perceive the same thing as risk because your mind works a bit differently than mine, right? It's similar. So
Truly,
you have to
yeah.
be able to quantify the risk in some sort of numbers or some sort of impact, right? So once that is there, you kind of look at the threat, you look at the risk, you look at the impact, and you look at the consequence or the criticality.
Okay.
So I use this self-coined acronym called TRIC. It's minus the K. It's TRIC.
Okay.
Stands for threat, risk, impact, criticality, and consequence.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
this when tabled, when you kind of put up a chart, will give you what you should do about it. Can you live with it for about another 30 days? Is it okay to live with it another 60 days? Or is it that you've got to act now? Right.
Okay.
So this is where I think AI plays a very great role, because you've got to have a lot of information coming in, a lot of information getting first collated, then triaged, and then give off a actionable input for someone to really work at it right now. Now this is one. Second is you kind of look at the capability or harnessing the capability of AI to what is called as the DDR.
Okay.
Detect, diagnose, remediate.
Right.
Now, I'm not talking about automation here, Radhika. I'm just kind of being a bit cautious here. I'm not really talking about automation. I'm talking about detect, diagnose, remediate, whether you want to do it automatically, whether you want to do it with manual intervention,
Okay.
or you want to kind of leave it a bit hybrid. It's a choice, but I'm not even going to R. I'm sticking to D and D, which is detect and diagnose, right? So uh, you've got to be capable of doing it, and AI brings in that capability and power to be able to detect and diagnose very fast, just to kind of give you, because numbers kind of bring sense to anything that we say. I'll just seal this with an example. Pre-COVID era in 2018-19, the speed of lateral attack or lateral movement, which means that once a attacker gains entry into some point in your IT infrastructure, what is the time it takes for him or for the attacker to spread across the network, right, or the environment? In
Right.
2018, 2019, pre-COVID, this was 552 minutes. Okay. I mean, you had all the time in the world.
Okay.
Post-COVID in 23-24, this is at 3 minutes, 522 minutes, 552 minutes to 3 minutes. Now, if
Wow.
you do not have a system which works a bit faster than this, you are
Yeah.
already dead. Forget remediation, you are dead.
Right.
So it's like,
That is also all thanks to AI and the
yeah, so what's important is that you kind of look at it from a very holistic approach. As I said, use the trick, get into a data posture, sort of a situation within your organization. So what is my security posture looking like? How good but ugly is my security posture? Uh, uh, the another thing that is important is Gartner uses this term very, very aggressively, and I find it very relevant. It's called CTEM. CTEM stands for Continuous Threat Exposure Management.
Okay.
What
Okay.
is
So
important? What is important is not the threat exposure management. What is important is that continuous word.
continuously, yeah, correct.
You cannot use standard tools to do continuous because they will need time to poll, gather, collate, report, right? You do not have that time. That is the important thing to understand, when you say continuous, right? You've got to be faster than the attacker. Just about it. You know.
Correct.
So these two things are important. The last but not the least, is a lot of the tools that the enterprises are using today. And I'm sure there are budget constraints, there are constraints of skill sets, etc., and all that.
Right.
But from a perspective that I look at it, is that there's a lot of tools and technologies that we use today are very policy and very, sort of static rule-based tools.
Okay.
In if you've got to survive today, you've got to get away from those static rules. Those static rules will protect you only to a level. You've got to look at tools and capabilities to be adaptive. When I say adaptive, now look at our body, our human body, for example. When you are sitting in your office in an AC cabin right now, we are, right? Our body has adapted to this environment. But if
Right.
we are to walk out, you know,
Hmm.
for a moment in time, we will feel a bit uncomfortable, but again, our body will adapt to that environment.
Correct.
I'm
Yeah.
not static to this environment that I am in, because if I'm to take this static environment out to, inside an outside environment, my body wouldn't be able to take it.
Yes.
This
Right.
is the same with technology. You cannot be harping upon any tool that you use which is static and policy based. You've got to look at adaptability, right? Now,
Right.
when you kind of look at adaptability, you look at, so AI is the output delivery. The input becomes, the engine becomes ML, which is machine learning.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
you kind of learn over a period of time and change the baseline or adapt to that baseline, right? So this piece of it is pretty important. So moving away from static policy-based rules, you get into patterns, behaviors, and context-based situations. For example, when I say this in my own organization, if the organization has given me a laptop today, right, and let's say, for example, that my laptop is compromised and so is my password.
Hmm. Okay.
So someone would think, well, Abhijit, you are dead. I'm
Hmm.
confident I'm not dead. You know why, Radhika? Because if I am to give you my laptop and my password to you right now and say, Radhika, type it.
Hmm.
I have been typing my password. It has got pressure points, it's got speed, it's got variations. What
Right.
you do will be very different with that same password. Your typing
Right.
speed, your typing variations, your pressure points are different. I can detect this. I can detect this today and say that
There
this
is a
doesn't
way to
seem.
detect that.
Yeah. Yes. There's a way to detect that. And I say that, well, this doesn't match my behavior pattern.
Okay.
See, for
Okay.
the last 45 days, there has been a behavior, there has been a pattern. I've
Right.
I've adapted. Now, what is coming in is different,
Right. Right.
right? Now, that can be possible. Two of my fingers could have had damage, and I'm kind of
Yeah.
typing can be damaged, but
Yeah.
I want to go back and check it before I allow it, right? So,
Right.
the last but not the least is the zero trust framework. Zero trust in everything. See, today, what
Yeah.
happens, majority of the organizations, if you ask them that, have you adopted zero trust, the hands will go high, saying that, yes, we have. Yeah. And you know what? Only the zero trust network access is what is working, not anything else, right? So,
Okay.
so, so now, now, how do you look at different frameworks for zero trust? For example, let's talk about identity and access management.
Mm.
How robust is that? Just to again kind of give you another statistics of why that is important. About 73% of breaches that happen, any breach,
Hmm.
the root cause is identity, abuse, misuse, breach, compromise, whatever English word you want to put at it, but it is identity.
Yeah.
73%, Radhika.
Right.
So definitely your identity and access management is not working. Or
Yes.
if you think it is working, you're not able to detect, govern, and remediate, right? So
Right.
again, that D and D, detect, diagnose, right? Your
Yes.
zero trust framework is not in place. Otherwise, why? How can someone explain a 73% incidents because of identity and access management, right? So I think all
Right.
these points are very, very important. So you've got to move from static to context and contextual based sort of and alert based. You've got to take a risk based approach to security.
Hmm.
Look at your security posture day in and day out. And AI is a very strong tool to do offensive security. When I say offensive security within the organization, uh, all organizations definitely don't have it, but the larger ones do. But it is available as a service, Radhika. What is called as the red teaming service, the penetration testing services.
Okay. Like you do like a dummy check kind of a thing.
Yes. We say that someone says that, okay, now I've got all these controls in place. We said
Yeah.
fair.
Okay.
Without announcing anything, we go
Yeah.
and attack.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. The objective is to test the controls, break the controls. See, even if you have controls, is it not breakable? Is my question.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
just because you have a control, do you think that is like, okay, it's lifetime good? The answer is no.
No. Yeah.
So how, till what extent does it hold good?
Hmm.
See, you may not want to do this. Now, there's cost involved. You may not want to do this with everything. But what about your critical applications? So your applications containing customer data, your applications, so these are the areas where we kind of, look at it from a bit of a different eye and say, look at it as to how critically can you do this, right? So this is, I think, overall, I would say this is what you should do with AI. And AI gives you that power, that
Right. Yeah.
capability to go do all this. Otherwise, the capability to detect, and I always say, AI, again, a self-coined acronym, I call it the SaaS, not the software as a service, but it stands for speed, accuracy, automation, and at scale. This is
Okay.
what AI brings to you, right?
Right.
So you've
Yeah.
got to look at the environment where you want to use it and then use it to your advantage. See, the attackers are also using, because see,
Right.
attackers know that you are building controls, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But between the time a vulnerability is reported and the vulnerability is patched,
Yes.
is the time when the attacker would want to attack.
Right.
If they can get across, you are doomed.
Right.
It's a
Right.
matter of accuracy and speed at their end also.
Yes. Yeah.
So it is AI against AI.
Yes. Absolutely. That. So it's like it's something that you have to like keep yourself abreast with, like and like you said that we have to it has to be very quick, and I mean, like the attackers are also very quick, and I mean, so it has to both ways. It has to be like, I mean, like the speed. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's got to be behavior based, it's got to be pattern based, it's got to be context based. You've got to move away from static rules and policies. That's not helping anymore.
Right. Great. Abhijit, thank you so much. I mean, very well explained. It was really, really interesting to hear. I'm sure our audience are also going to really take a lot of, key points from this. Thank you so much, Abhijit, today.
Thank you so much, Radhika. You stay safe and take care. Bye bye.
Yes, thanks so much. Thank you.